Hey guys, it's Jolene from Smith's Nature Friendly Farms. Today is an exciting day. Today is planting day for our 2021 garden season. All right guys, we are super excited. Today is the day we start putting plants in the ground. The greenhouse has been loaded down with plants that are just literally dying to get into the garden. So today is the day. Now my husband is out in the field behind us here and he is working hard plowing and tilling our area. The tilled area is, if you've watched any of our other videos, we put our beans and our peas out in the tilled area, but the majority of our produce comes from our no-till garden. So most of the planting will happen in the garden today, and over time we're trying to expand the no-till areas and eliminate the tillage because we just feel like that's a much more nature-friendly approach, but it takes a long time to get to a no-till point. We have a video on that. If you want to learn more about our no-till garden, by all means check that video out, but on to planting. All right guys, so I have gotten some gardening done, some plants in the ground, and then we got hit by some great old Mississippi weather and it has rained a ton already. So my poor little plants that I've put in the ground are already starting to look a little bit overwatered. I'm really hoping they recuperate. There is a bit more rain in the forecast, but I'll show you what we've got, and we may be replanting again, and we may be a double plant season this year. But let's take a look at what we've got going right now. So I got my very first set of cattle panels up, and I have the cherry tomatoes in the ground. So far the cherries look okay. Cherries are a lot more disease resistant, I find, than an actual tomato plant. I have no idea why. If somebody out there has the answer to that, please let me know in the comments. But overall, cherry tomatoes do very well for us. This is the first year I've used the kind of cattle panel format, and this is, I've got to say, this is fantastic. It's certainly an investment. You've got to have the poles and you've got to have the cattle panel. So the poles probably cost you about 20 bucks and the panel will cost you another 25 to 30. But it is so easy to put up and take down. I'm super thrilled with it. I normally let my tomatoes get away with me, and that's likely why I'm not the world's best tomato grower. So I'm super happy to have these cattle panels. We are really excited this year because we have expanded our garden through wicking pots and tubs, I guess, in a sense. So if you follow Gardening with Leon, and if you don't, follow him, he's fantastic. This gentleman has taught me so much about wicking tubs and the value of them in the garden, and I'm excited about them for different reasons, but one of the main reasons is just keeping the critters out of them. So for example, we have some sweet peas growing in here, and normally we wouldn't see the sweet peas come to fruition. They'd pop up and about a day later the rabbits would have eaten it all. So the height of these is just enough that it keeps them quite a bit safer in the smaller stages. It's easier to manage, and it's allowing me to grow some neat things because it's giving me space in the garden for the large items that I grow, the things that people want and demand, and allows me to take out some little things that are fun to grow, like cucamelons, tiny little mini melons that are like cucumbers that people can add to their salads, or miniature peppers that are sweet and can add to their salads. So I'm doing a lot of salad focus with these these little containers, as well as you can see that there's some potatoes going on, and we've got carrots in the other containers. So lots of good stuff. Anything I basically wanted to grow in the garden, don't ever have enough space for, I've got in a bucket now, and I've got room to continue to expand. I'm even going to expand with some cut flowers, I think, so that I can offer some of our box customers little bonuses with cut flowers. Part of our mission this year was to cut down on some of our work that we were doing over and over again. So we aren't doing this a lot. I don't love a lot of black cloth throughout my yard, but I am doing it in this particular section because I can cut my garden off from the weed seeds. So we are having laid this permanent cloth down here, and I cut holes for my planting spots, and these are all butternuts for market selling this year. And throughout the rest of the garden, we have a ton of yellow squash planted right now. We've got a row of couple of peppers and some beets. We got potatoes back in the corner, and these are spaghetti squash down here, and our couple of panels of different tomato plants. We still have to get melons in the ground. I've got lots more containers to fill. Peas go out in the field. The field is really wet. We have plowed it. You can see it there, but it needs to be plowed when it's dry because it's too chunky. So peas will be a bit late this season. The celery has been loving all this rain. It's grown like a foot, it feels like. And a big part of what we now do is create herb salts. So we created a beautiful new herb garden. So we're really excited about this herb garden. It will start to fill in with some dill across the back, which has already been planted. We've got chamomile in there. We've got rosemary on either corner. I can never get enough rosemary. So there's mint in here, and we are going to be adding lots of more different types of herbs. So we are super excited about this particular garden. Of course, before in the past we were growing them in pots, little tiny pots, so now we're growing them in a much larger space, which is great. So lots and lots of work still to be done, lots of planting that we're doing right now. These pots are still, most of these guys in here still need to be filled. I've got some zucchini in that one, which is great, but lots of them need to be filled. You can see my porch is a disaster zone. It's a sea of plants that need to go in the ground. It's all part of the fun. All this will come together. So that's where we're at this year for this market season garden, and I'm really excited about this year's season. We have quite a few veggie box customers that we definitely need to fill their orders for, so certainly feeling some anxiousness about growing and making sure I have enough in order to service all of those customers. We got our standard markets we're going to, plus a couple of bonus ones this year, so it's going to be a big season. Hopefully my garden performs, and hopefully it turns out without too much bug pressure and too many diseases. Sometimes that's hard, but I'm looking forward to it. So we'll keep you updated along the way on how the garden is doing. I'm certainly happy with our initial start. Little bit behind, but not too bad. Awesome, guys. Well, that's it for us right now. Take care, be friendly, be kind.